Jeff Bezos used to be the richest person in the world, but Elon Musk currently holds the title with $273.2 million to his name. However, there used to be a person who was even richer than these two combined. In this video, we will be looking at Mansa Musa, King of Mali, the wealthiest man in history. Welcome to Socialogues. Our goal is to provide you with a dose of luxury, travel, houses, cars, and stories of successful people so you can be inspired to live an abundant, beautiful, and successful life. We upload videos weekly. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and feel free to comment any questions you may have down below. Enjoy! Travel to the 14th century in Europe, when the bubonic plague is ravaging the continent, destroying cities and murdering 1/3 of its inhabitants. There are many casualties from the ongoing war, and there's a lot of trash and actual feces in the streets. In all honesty, this is a terrible moment to be alive. But if you look a little south to Africa, the situation is completely different. Musa Keita I, commonly known as Mansa Musa after assuming leadership of the Mali Kingdom in 1312 BCE, is in charge of all of this. The continent's economy is booming, mosques are being built, universities are being established, and art is being created and distributed all over. The Kingdom of Mali, which was ruled by Mansa Musa, was enormous, spanning about 2,000 miles from one end to the other through what are now Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Niger, Gambia, Nigeria, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. Furthermore, this region contained resources that made Mali and Mansa Musa incredibly prosperous. Half of the gold of the world is thought to have been under the possession of the Mali Empire under his rule. If an empire today controlled half of the world's gold, it would be worth more than 5 trillion just from the gold. But Mansa Musa's empire was in charge of more than just gold, twice that's the GDP of the United Kingdom. The Empire of Mali encompassed rainforests, plains, and all the resources that might be found there, extending from the Atlantic to the Sahara Desert. Salt deposit and elephant ivory, which were significant sources of profit at the time, contributed significantly to Mali's wealth. The kingdom was already prosperous when Mansa Musa ascended to the throne, but he went above and beyond. By gaining control of places like Timbuktu and expanding the domain to include 24 cities, the monarchy was able to conduct trade more openly. Mansa Musa enjoyed conquest and acquiring more wealth for himself and his nation. But what did he actually do with them? In all honesty, he likes to twist them in ways that would make Jeff Bezos and Marie Antoinette look foolish. The most extravagant show of Mansa Musa's wealth during his reign is crucial to understanding just how ridiculously wealthy he actually was. His pilgrimage to Mecca. Like the majority of people in Mali, Mansa Musa was a Muslim. And while many Muslims have traveled to Mecca, no one has ever done it in the same style as Mansa Musa. To begin with, it wasn't just Mansa Musa riding a camel through the desert while sweltering in the heat. He had a city-sized entourage, so he could travel in comfort with opulent accommodations that he didn't even have to put up himself. It's estimated that 60,000 people were always moving in his caravan. There were 1,000 attendants in this caravan, 500 of whom were dedicated to serving his head wife. There were 500 slaves on the journey, and they were carrying staffs made of gold and weighed 6 pounds each. For comparison, that makes a total of 3,000 pounds of gold, but that wasn't the only gold there was. There were 100 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold, for a total weight of about 30,000 pounds of gold. Today, the value of 30,000 pounds of gold is around $888 million. With the added cost of the golden staff, that would be equivalent to almost $970 million, just shy of $1 billion. And all held solely by Mansa Musa. The fact that many of the people in his caravan were also his property, including thousands of slaves and attendants, only increases his value and emphasizes what a spectacular display of wealth this expedition actually was. The costumes worn by the female slaves were made by Yemeni silk and brocade. which were significantly more expensive and out of the ordinary for slaves. Additional camels numbering in the hundreds brought supplies for the company as well as silk and other textiles. The group made stops in various locations en route to Mecca and embarked on shopping excursions where they purchased tons of specialized cuisine, designer clothing, and sweets. Mansa Musa was frittering money away like there was no tomorrow, while the mass of Europe was going hungry. But he didn't just waste money on stuff he bought. He was well known for providing money to the needy because he frequently donated to various groups while traveling through communities. And while it might not seem like there would be a problem with spending your riches in towns and helping the underprivileged, that wasn't precisely the case here. Everywhere Mansa Musa traveled, he left a trail of gold, and when he got to Cairo, that gold had a significant influence. Mansa Musa had planned to bypass Cairo on his way to Mecca, but Sultan al-Nasir insisted that he stay and meet him. As a result, Mansa Musa spent 3 months in a palace in Cairo, spending his fortune and relaxing while enjoying the perks of being a king. Due to his kindness and immense riches, the economy suffered greatly after he ultimately left Cairo. He actually reduced the value of gold by an unfathomable amount, which took Egypt 12 years to recover from. Can you imagine being so wealthy that spending your money, whatever you like, would cause a powerful empire's economy to collapse? During that trip, it wasn't just his wealth that was spread. It was the word of his wealth. Initially unknown to most people, the Empire of Mali rose to prominence after the rest of the world learned how much money the country needed to burn. Mansa Musa had not yet finished his spending when he went back to Mali. In order to expand his cities even more, he brought back artists, poets, scholars, and architects from his journeys. He started work on numerous mosques, colleges, and castles. Mansa Musa ordered one particular mosque, the Gingerber Mosque. The mosque, which is still standing today, 700 years after it was built, was one of the biggest and most spectacular in all of Africa. The famous architect who created the mosque was compensated with 440 pounds of gold, or around $8.2 million in today's currency. The mosque includes 2 minarets, 25 rows of pillars, 3 inner courts, and enough capacity for 2,000 people to pray at once. Then there were educational establishments, namely Sankore University. Mansa Musa asked Sankore University to help his empire's citizens advance and educate themselves since he was adamant about it. 25,000 people might be accommodated at the university, which is more than Harvard University can currently hold. It had a massive library that was comparable to the library in Alexandria. There are estimates that it had between 400,000 to 700,000 manuscripts, although many academics believe there may have been as many as 1 million. Mansa Musa collaborated with the institution to develop a reasonably contemporary schedule and organizational system with the intellectuals, artists, and scientists he brought back from his travels. There were 4 levels of education available, which corresponded to degrees today. After completing each level's coursework, including both secular and non-secular studies, students were awarded special turbans. And that's all for today's video. What do you think of King Mansa Musa? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoy everything luxurious, check out our other videos. And if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Until our next video. See you then!